Well, hello, my friends. How are you today? I am very excited because tomorrow morning at 9:30, we have an appointment with the neurosurgeon. Well, he's part of another hospital. Actually, it's the hospital that my daughter works for. And we're very excited because I understand they have a wonderful neurosurgery team. Well, I have to tell you, I debated about doing this video over after I finished it completely and started to edit and look at the clips. And right away, in the beginning of the video, I discovered that I had some kind of a blob of something. I have no idea what it is, when it got there. I certainly hope it wasn't there when we were all visiting over at the skilled nursing home with Moosie. But then again, I did have my glasses on the whole time I was over there. And if it was on there, I don't think you would have noticed it. But I have decided that I just can't do this all over again. So please forgive the fact that I'm showing it to you, but try and just disregard it. I don't know what it was. And the thought of doing the whole thing over again, no way. I know you'll understand. I know I put makeup on quickly. I don't think it was makeup. It must have been something I touched somewhere. And I know I was running out to the shed and getting Moosie's laundry out of the dryer or whatever. I touched something on the way or whatever, but I know you'll understand. So just try and watch the whole video and forget this. Love you. This particular neurosurgeon that we're seeing was referred by the doctor in the medical center, who's a very good friend of our daughter, Dubs, and they managed to get an appointment. So I'm thrilled. I spent the day yesterday over at the hospital. I think I might have told you in the last video. What is today? Thursday. Yes, it was yesterday. And I picked up all the hard copies of the CT scans and any x-rays or imaging that was done while he was in the hospital. And he was there almost 3 weeks. So the doctor wants those. And I guess he has all the other medical history for Moose. And at 8:45 in the morning, that van that we had to take him, it's associated with the nursing home. The van, it's a transport van. They will pick him up in the wheelchair and it's only a block away. So they will take him there and I will go on my own in the morning and I have to fill in the initial paperwork. So I told the nurse that I would be there on my own and we'll meet my husband there. But he's so anxious to get this big collar off. And I'm not sure that's going to happen because from what I've read and what I've heard, it's been almost 6 weeks or just 6 weeks since he did break his neck. And sometimes, depending on how it's healed, and the doctor will take more CT scans, can't do MRIs because he does have a pacemaker, but that will depend on how he's healing and his general health. Now, even if they put another collar on him that's not quite as restricting or painful, I think the actual neck brace is painful, especially when he sleeps at night. Now, even today, we were visiting over there. I was there with Colleen and Micah and Brendan. Brendan goes back to college Saturday morning. So he wanted to see Moosie one last time. And we were visiting with him out on the terrace. And he was enjoying all the stories and catching up on the stories of the other children and what's been happening. He's been there almost 2 weeks. I can't believe it. After 3 weeks in the hospital. Actually, it is 2 weeks today when I had him home here and we realized, unfortunately, or I would say fortunately, a day after he came home here, and I realized that I couldn't take care of him, and he knew it too. He needed to have skilled care. So anyway, we talked about good foods and fun things in the future, and Michael was talking about Thanksgiving The other problem was that he'd been going to a dentist. We'd been having regular trips to this school, a university dental school, and they've been wonderful. They're so well trained. They've been doing wonderful things with him. And the last time we were there, I paid for his full set of dentures and to have a surgeon pull the remaining teeth that are left in his mouth. And our next appointment was 4 days after he fell. He would have had dentures, new dentures in his mouth. Well, I had to cancel future appointments for quite a while. I don't even know when the neurosurgeon might allow him to have teeth pulled. That might interfere with the healing or whatever. So that's kind of a shame. And, he doesn't like to smile because he has had a couple of teeth pulled recently and several in the back. And it's difficult for him to eat. He was looking forward to a big steak dinner with Micah during the holidays, but I don't know whether that's going to happen. I want you to notice my outfit today. Does this look familiar to you, those of you who watch all our videos and are longtime supporters? About a month ago, not even maybe, I was, oh yes, I think it was right before Moosie fell. So it was about 6 weeks ago. I went over to our daughter Debbie's office. And as I say, she works for a big hospital. And we had a nice lunch and we painted these pumpkin, well, they're wine glasses, but we turned them upside down and painted them to look like pumpkins, painted the stems green. I never did get to put the berries and the leaves around there, but on the top are little votive lights to light up. And we painted a bunch of them. We had a great day. And on that day, she had this kimono on. And I said to her, "Ooh, is that new?" She said, "Yes, I just got it." And I said, "When do you think I'm going to get it?" Oh, she said, "I don't know." Because as you know, our daughter Dub she purges all the time. She's wonderful. But she has quite a wardrobe because she's a businesswoman. And guess what she sent over? I saw her 2 days ago, and she sent this over. Well, I was talking to her as soon as I got home. She called and wanted to know how everything was going. Is it all set up for tomorrow? And I said to her, "By the way, I have a kimono on that I think you were wearing 6 weeks ago, and it was in the pile of clothes that you purged and sent home with me 2 days ago. Am I right? Is it the right one?" And she howled and laughed, and she said, "Yes." I didn't bother asking her why or what was wrong with it, but don't you love it? This is one of those lovely different colored kimonos. It's the only black and white one I have. And when I put it on this morning to go over for our visit, I was looking through my piles of jewelry. Most of it, by the way, is at least 50 years old. And the kids all recognize so much of it. And I wanted to find black things, and I knew I had this, and sure enough, it was hanging on one of my bedposts. And this I bought actually about 50 years ago in Big Lots, which at that time was called Pick and Save. For any of you who know that company, it was originally Pick and Save and then became Big Lots. As a matter of fact, recently, I think that a lot of the businesses are closing, whether they went bankrupt or not. But I know one of my local Big Lots is closing. But I used to buy so much jewelry there. I'll get a little bit closer to show you this. It's quite a thick, heavy necklace, and it's all beads, different beads on the top. You just throw it over your neck. And this is... these little things here are slate. They're not plastic, they're slate, and you can tell they're all inlaid because it's all bumpy all across. So I found that first, and then I thought, okay, let me dig out my yearman ring, which I did with the black onyx, and then I went hunting around and found the black bracelet. So I'm all decked out in black and white today. Every once in a while, you have to dress up to make yourself feel good. And yes, all the ladies loved my little kimono, yet another kimono. but I feel good. Oh, I also got some comments on my pigtails. You know, it's the fastest hair. These days, I am always rushing out for an appointment or to get somewhere by a certain time. And my makeup, I have gotten it down to almost 5 minutes. I put this, as you know, oh, as a matter of fact, I just ordered 2 more of these. I am so pleased with these e.l.f. soft glams that I just got 2 more of them on Amazon. Let me get them right here. These are wonderful. I raved about them, and I was afraid that I was running out of my other one. And I have learned to put all this on really fast. I take my e.l.f. camo concealer and get my little crusty things from the beach days or just old age, put something on those, put it on my eyelids. I get my little stick out, which I've lost the top, and I put my cheeky things on. I put a little bit of my, where's that? That's here too somewhere. And of course my Revlon Iced Amethyst with the glow on top. And my Milani mascara. I just did pick up some more very light something to put up here. It's one of those Maybelline mini nights out type thing, and it's a very light cocoa color that I put up here. And I have it all down to about 5 minutes. It's ridiculous. And normally for the summer, just to get this hair up off my neck, and it's really grown long again, it doesn't look it, and of course I don't have much hair left. But this hairdo, the piggy tails, is so much easier. I just parted down the back, put these things in. So I thought, ooh, I wonder if I should wear it. I look so dressed up, but then put the piggy tails on, whatever. But I got compliments on my piggy tails, and everybody loved them. So, and Moosie loves them, by the way. I think it reminds him of maybe I might look a little similar to what I might have looked like years ago when I did wear these pigtails a lot. But they were a lot fuller and longer. Anyway, I do have something I wanted to tell you about, and then I have some paperwork that I have to start filling in for tomorrow. I saw a recipe on my iPad the other day, and you know how they just kind of show up on your feed. I don't know whether it's Facebook or your Instagram or what, but it was a recipe for chili. And on top of it, and I'll tell you in a moment, well, I looked at that. Moosie and I love our chili. And especially as the days get cooler. Well, we're not quite there yet. But I've had these for years. These are part of what they call brownware. And they're mugs with handles, very heavy pottery. And these particular ones have lids. Now, I did have about 8 of them because when I had the big family, I even had them then. I would serve soups and various things in these. And when the kids were all at home, years and years ago. However, recently, in one of the purges that I wished I hadn't done, Shannon helped me clean some things out of my kitchen cabinets, and I did get rid of probably about 6 of these. But it was only Moose and I left anyway. However, I was going to make this for Brendan for one of his last meals home. And Colleen, too. Of course, Micah is working at that time, supper time, at least certain days of the week. And I'm going to tell you what I did today. I thought about it because, came back to me because Debbie sent me this morning a text. And didn't she send the same text that I had seen? She said, "Doesn't this look good?" And yes, it did. And it reminded me that I might make it tonight for my supper. Now, this might be the first time I've really cooked on the stove. Maybe one other time I might have made myself some scrambled eggs. But I've been eating not fast foods, but things that I can eat and not have to cook. Something I can warm up or something. And since I normally make my own chili, but I have found a chili that is almost, and I say almost, as good as my homemade one. Well, I did it. I made that yummy chili with the cornbread on top in my nice brownware bowl. And I put some Mexican style blend cheese on top, some sour cream, and some little green onions. It might. Don't you just love it? I'll let you know tomorrow how good it was. Now that it's opened up, it's getting a little cooler, and I took some of the Fritos and I crunched them up and put them in there, down there where all the chili is. That's going to be good too. Look at that chili in there when I dig in. It's very hot and I really can't eat it yet. And I buy it at Vaughn's Market, and it's called Steakhouse Chili. And I don't know whether all sorts of it's one of those signature brands that might be, yeah, it might be particularly to just Vaughn's, but maybe your markets have these too. This chili is so good. It has beans and it has meat in it, and it is so, so good. So I'm not going to have to make my own chili. What you do, and I was going to make it in there with you, but I don't really think I have time to do that today. So I'm just going to tell you about it. I take my jug, and I'm just going to do one for me, and then I bought an extra one of these to send up to Colleen, and also the other things, the accoutrements that go along with it. So you take your chili. You can warm it up first in a pot on the stove if you want. Probably I might do that. And you dump it in your mug or whatever you're going to do. Make sure it's an oven-safe mug, whatever you put it in. Or maybe you're going to make it all in a big pot and serve it from the big pot. But this way it's going to be kind of cute. And then, after you get the chili in, you buy a box of these Jiffy cornbreads. Now, this has been around for years and years and years. You mix it. I think you put 1 egg and a little bit of milk in. And then you drizzle, they say you fill 3/4 of your pot with chili, and then 1/4 of the Jiffy mix after it's all mixed. And that probably might be about 1 inch thick, maybe. And then you maybe, at this point, you might want to put some cheese on it, but I think I will wait until afterward to put this Monterey Jack. Actually, it's a Mexican-style blend of cheese, but you could put cheddar or whatever on it. And you cook it, and when it comes out, the Jiffy muffin mix, cornbread, it's cornbread. The cornbread rises up a little, and it's steaming hot. And then you would take your sour cream. This is the way we like to garnish our chili, with a dollop of sour cream. At this point, maybe is when you put your cheese on top. You chop up some green onions, little tiny, just a few. Put those on top. And then what I've always done before, I scrunch up a small thing of Fritos. Now I can put those on the top, or maybe you might want to leave them on the side. But this gives it that crunch. At least this is the way that our family has always eaten chili. Doesn't that look good? Now, I won't make it for you because there's not much to really show you. You know how to do everything. You know how to make the Jiffy cornbread, and the chili's already for you. And believe me, it's like real homemade chili. But I will show you when I make it. It'll either be tonight or tomorrow night. And I'll show you what it looks like when it comes out of the oven and after I garnish it before I eat it. I hope I remember to do that. Isn't it funny how something gets into your head and you have to eat it? Speaking about that, Colleen told me, we were on the phone for 1.5 hours the night before last, just gabbing about everything. And she was telling me about this meal that she had seen on one of these pop-up recipes. I mean, it's great that we have our phone, isn't it? You don't even have to have recipe books anymore. And it was something that was completely meatless. You didn't have to cook it. You chopped up a cucumber, I think you might have chopped up maybe something else in there, but definitely it was some onions, chopped up some onions, chopped up the cucumbers. What else was in there? Celery, chop up some celery. And then there were several different sauces. You could put soy sauce, chili sauce, fish sauce, oyster sauce, whatever you wanted to put in there. I think 2 tablespoons of plain yogurt and some mayonnaise, one or the other. I think you even put a little Dijon mustard in there. And chili flakes to give it a little spice, hotness. And you put it in a piece of Tupperware, probably a jug. Put a lid on it, shake it up really, really, really good, and then get a fork and eat it right out of that. Well, that sounded so good to me. As you know, that's right down my alley. And I woke up this morning at 4, as usual. That seems to be my witching hour. I fall asleep early in the evenings now, but I sleep 2 or 3 hours and I wake up for an hour or two and then go back to sleep. But 4 o'clock is the time when I'm ready and raring to go. But I stay in bed for a while, maybe watch the early news coming from back east. And I thought, oh, I'm hungry. So I got up, had my cup of coffee at that point, and I made this, can you believe it, it was 5 in the morning by the time I made this cucumber, salad with all the chili flakes and the hotness and everything at 5 in the morning. I brought it back to my bed and I ate it. Now, it wasn't a big meal. I did put it in a small little bowl. I didn't have a lot of it, but it was enough that I enjoyed. It fulfilled that urge that gotta just have it now. I might as well make it. And Shamu was up with me, kind of watching me do that, and she had her breakfast with me at 5 a.m. Crazy things you do when you're alone. I never would have done something like that with Moosie sleeping right there with me. I know Mikey is coming up with his 3 children, and he is coming up on Sunday. So we're hoping we can have a nice visit out on the terrace too. You've all been so wonderful with all your comments, encouraging me to hang in there, sending all your prayers for Moosie and for myself. And I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. You are my friends, and we have a lot of new friends too that have joined us, and I want to welcome you. And hopefully, as time goes on, you will see a little bit more maybe of our family and a little bit more of some of the hobbies and things that I love to do. I love crafting. I painted all those tiles on my fireplace. I had them fired and then I cemented them. I love projects like that, big things, refinishing furniture. I love gardening. What else do I do? I love fashion. I love to do makeup. I'm a newbie on it, though. I've only been doing makeup for a few years now. I never wore a lot of makeup. Well, most of my life, I just wore some eye makeup and maybe a little blush, or sometimes just pinched my cheek. But that's fun to do. And also, I do hair things. Now, I don't know whether I'm going to cut it or what, but I like to do different hairdos. So these are some things about me and what you might be seeing if you kind of stick with us and become one of our friends here. I just like to keep busy, and it's one of my premises. At 87 years old, I've got to keep going no matter what. Being a caretaker to Moosie that's been going on for a number of years for various other falls, things that he's had, bad break of a hip and recuperation. And somehow I'm managing to do it. I have my aches and pains too, but I keep trying to figure out what keeps me going, and thank the Lord, it's working so far. You never know, though, when he decides that it's time to come up and visit with him. So thanks again, my friends. Love you all, and God bless us all. See you soon.